has been whittled down to just a few. Welcome to the semi-finals of the 2022 edition of the Coca-Cola Intercol. In our second match of today's doubleheader, we see a relentless Trinity East coming up against one of the most complete sides. Okay.
Yeah, we're going live. All right. So Siobhan will be crossed up, right? I'll just go some quick like. Siobhan, how excited you are about these matchups today? You can just say something, right? We've been seeing that this one season.
Oh, really?
Signal Hill. We didn't.
Hello and welcome to the beautiful city of Port of Spain. To the north of us, Cumberland Hill and Fort George, both nestled at the top of the Northern Range. What began with many has been whittled down to just a few. Welcome to the semi-finals of the 2022 edition of the Coca-Cola Intercol. In our second match of today's doubleheader, we see a relentless Trinity East coming up against one of the most complete sides in the league, Fatima College. But first, we focus on our opening clash as the boys of Signal Hill Secondary hope to book their place in the final as they face Premier League champions St. Benedict's College. This is knockout football, where you win or you go home. Today's weather, 28 degrees Celsius, humidity at 78%, and wind speeds at 78 kilometers per hour. Welcome, I'm Siobhan Metiver, and joining me pitchside again is Hans Devines, James Saunders, and Colin Murray.
Well, Siobhan, it's an exciting one, I can tell from your voice and from your articulation that you are ready for it. How excited are you about these two matches that we're going to see
today? Listen, we didn't see Signal Hill in the Premiership, so it's going to be an exciting one to see them mash up today with our boys St. Benedict's College. And then we have Trinity East College, who showed they had what it takes to beat Sour North to get the East Zone. So now they're matched up against Fatima today. So exciting ones.
Exciting ones ahead. We had some delays due to the weather, but guess what? We are here. These are the semi-final matches of the Coca-Cola Intercol, the national semi-finals. Colin Murray, James Saunders, what do you make of it? What are you all ready for? What are you all excited about today?
Yeah, this one is a big one. This is the guppy at the end of a fishing line. This is the big ball. World Cup finals, nothing. This is the World Cup for these boys. It's a semi-finals, and I'm really excited at what to expect today with this lineup that we've got.
Yeah, Colin Murray?
Same here. I think it should be really an exciting both two games. I'm a little worried about Signal Hill, let me be honest. They're coming up from the championship division. This is not the Signal Hill that years ago when they were coached by Burton Sinclair, had players like Dwight York and Calvin Hutchinson. So, it's going to take a real Herculean effort from them to stop this St. Benedict's team. Let's face facts. They're just a marching machine, aren't they?
Well, congratulations going out to the teams for reaching this far, but also congratulations goes out to Jamaica College and winning the Manning Cup. Well, we get ready for the finals of the Da Costa Cup today, where Clarendon College goes up against Central High at Bushby. So we get ready for that one as well. And also happening today, the World Cup in Qatar. Guys, what do you make of the teams?
Argentina, Australia. Well, that's almost reminds me of St. Benedict Signal Hill. Argentina should really walk that. Great game this morning. I thought Netherlands were excellent. It's the best I've seen them play. Their passing was superb. United States tried, but they were just no match for Netherlands.
Well, let's talk about your team, James.
Yeah,
Brazil.
I'm Team Japan.
Your team Japan now?
I'm just
okay,
kidding, of course. Do Caribbean people breed oxygen? No, we breed Brazil. And of course, looking at Brazil, they've got lots of strength. Of course, they would have lost their last game yesterday. Yeah. Just a small bump in the road. At the moment, I'm backing Argentina in this match like Colin Murray. For the first time that we're agreeing on anything, but hey.
All right, well, James, let's bring it back here. St. Benedict's College, Signal Hill. What can we expect? What would be the strategy that either team would really want to employ to really get the advantage?
Well, I think, in speaking to the coach just off here, he was saying that it's an unknown quantity. And Signal Hill presents that, having not played in Trinidad before. So it's a team that I expect that the first 10, 15 minutes is going to be quite cagey. But this St. Benedict's team, it's a team that is full of goals and full of fun as well. Brazil, they enjoy playing football. And I think since Signal Hill, comprehensive, would want to be cautious against a team like St. Benedict's College, given what they've accomplished so far in the season.
Well, when we talk about Signal Hill Secondary, yes, we talk about Bert Hill, Sinclair, yes, we talk about Dwight York, but again, like you said, Colin, they may not have the same quality. What can Signal Hill really do?
Well, no, I think the important thing, the unknown, St. Benedict's would not have been able to have a look at them unless they sent a scout to Tobago to see them. So they're coming here as unknown factor to St. Benedict's. So it's difficult to plan a strategy against them. However, Signal Hill, they've seen Benedict's on numerous occasions. So I think they've got to plan against St. Benedict's. It reminds me of the presentation Naparima game when presentation planned so well for Naparima. You would have thought that, and also against St. Benedict's because it was goalless and then they won on penalty kicks. So you got to get that strategy right, and let's hope Signal Hill gets the strategy right.
Well, one thing we do know is that St. Benedict's College, they have a very deep team, which includes this young man, Josiah Ochoa.
My name is Josiah Ochoa. I play midfield for St. Benedict's College and I'm 15 years old. I've been playing football since the age of 7. I choose the game of football because growing up, I always been around football. My father was, in his time, he used to play football and he always used to mention it to me. So I took after him and I say I'll try it and I fall in love with it. I played with Point Fortin Football Youth Academy and also Canopia FC. Currently I'm training with the national under-17 team. It's new to me. I've never been selected before, so it's interesting. It's new atmosphere, everything. Some goals I set for myself is making the starting 11 for the national under-17 team and hopefully becoming a professional footballer someday. What I want to say to my supporters, just keep supporting us, we will never let you down.
Josiah Ochoa. What do you make of what he said, James?
Yeah, I like Josiah Ochoa and his spirit. Of course, he spoke about getting that pick to the national and the 17 team, how it has improved this game. I think 7 members of the St. Benedict's team would have gotten that opportunity. And I think from what we've seen, we've seen better discipline and we've seen more experience coming to this team with the picks and the experience that they would have gained at the national level.
Well, both coaches have their strategies that they're ready to employ on this pitch today. Let's hear from them.
All right, Coach, it's a semi-final. What's it feeling like in your camp?
We are good. We are actually excited to be here. We had a slow start to the season in the league and we came like 4th. But for the Intercol, we know that we had a chance. And we are here today to give a good account of ourselves.
What's the game plan like facing St. Benedict's College?
Well, I know I know quite a few of the players. We have been looking at them, and they are playing some really good football. So we have to work hard off the ball, especially. And whenever we are in possession of the ball, we have to really be careful and be efficient. You know, every opportunity that comes our way, we have to make sure it counts, because this is a very, very good, one of the top team in Trinidad and Tobago over the season. So we know we have our work cut out, but we see what happened to your team yesterday. Brazil, you know, Cameroon beat a team, so we're going to beat St. Benedict today.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Coach Barlow, you're coming up against Signal Hill. What is he feeling like in your camp?
Good. Fellas excited, ready to go, you know, relax. Another game, an interesting game. And we see how it goes today.
I made a bet with the Signal Hill coach, and he said he's going to beat you like how St. Benedict or Brazil lost yesterday. Are you going to make me lose that bet?
I don't think it's up to me. I think it's up to the players who play on the field, but we'll try our best to see that you could keep your money.
What's the game plan for today?
We don't know as yet. Because a lot of teams have been coming with different strategies lately when they come to players. So we had to see how the game unfolds, and then we could make adjustment as the game go along. I believe it will be a very interesting game. They have done a good job so far getting to this stage, and I think both of us want to go on to the another stage. So it'll be interesting.
Well, thank you so much, and good luck.
No problem.
Well, words from the coaches as they get ready to face off here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. When we come back, we get ready for kickoff, and we tell you more about the matches and some other highlights in terms of secondary school football. This is the Coca-Cola National Intercol semi-finals. Our drone shot overlooking the Hazley Crawford Stadium as we get ready for this big face-off here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. It is the Coca-Cola Intercol semi-finals. Yes, we are going to get ready for St. Benedict's College going up against Signal Hill, and we also have Fatima College going up against Trinity College East. But something big is happening in January. We're looking at the championship, the Caribbean High School Football Championship. St. Benedict's College, Fatima College, they face off on with the finalists of the Oliver Shield Cup in Jamaica. Guys, I mean, what can we make of that? What can we expect? Jamaica College and whoever wins the game today, what can we expect from that one?
Well, no, it should be interesting. I mean, I'm unknown quantity of Jamaica. I've seen them on the television, of course, and just likewise, they've seen our guys on the television. So, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think both teams will have to get some sort of film of the games and sort of plan their strategy around it. But I expect it to be competitive. All
right, well, Fatima College, having missed out on that premiership title, how bad do they want to win today, guys?
Very bad. And I should leave this to Colin Murray because he's been dying to dig into Fatima College, but very badly. I think they've organized really well. They will have learned from their errors, and they're coming hard. They're going to be praying that St. Benedict's College gets past Signal Hill today because they want that rematch. I think the fans want that rematch as well.
Well, the team is here already. Yep. Some of the fans are here already as well.
Yeah, the Fatima team, of course, they're here and looking on. I don't think they're going to pay much attention to the game itself because they don't care who they meet. Actually, I think they would want to meet St. Benedict's, but as far as they're concerned, they have a job to do today. And let me tell you, don't underestimate this Trinity East team, because this Trinity East team, they turned back Samoa North. And no, I felt they would have given Samoa North a good game. Maybe I didn't think they might have beaten them, but I thought it would have been
But Fatima College here, their final against QRC, Colin. I mean, really, the supporters came out.
That was a bad day for QRC. Their defense leaked goals, and here I think they gave at least 3 goals to Fatima. Really bad defensive work from them, and Fatima didn't have to work that hard to win the game. But I expect today is going to be different. Trinity East, you look at Trinity East, they're a very plucky team. Okay. They're well organized and they tackle hard. And don't forget, there's a young guy up front called Fostin. He can score goals.
And here they were against Samoa North.
Yeah, and again, Fostin at the heart and center of everything offensive for Trinity East, and it's going to be tough containing him. He's a guy that's motivated. Yep. He's played in the lower leagues in England. He's looking for opportunities, and he's actually using this tournament to sharpen up his tools. I think he's hungry, and he's getting into form at the right time.
And James, their goalkeeper, Dalrymple, he's not a bad keeper. He comes off his line well. He's a good shot stopper. So even defensively, they're not a bad team, and it's not going to, in my view, this is not going to be a walkover for Fatima. They will have to play well to win.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the girls Intercol, the girls Coca-Cola Intercol. Quarterfinals plays tomorrow, where we have the Central Zone winners going up against the South Zone winners, Miracle Ministries, going up against Pleasantville Secondary School. And then we have our national semi-final with Five Rivers Secondary, winners of the East versus Holy Name Convent, winners of the North, and the winner of the quarterfinal plays against Signal Hill Secondary. So Signal Hill obviously doing very good, and girls have really been getting a good turnout. The schools have been supporting, and we also applaud the general public and Coca-Cola for making sure it happens. Here's Holy Name Convent joining the Tommy Lee Psycho viral trend. This is them entering their locker room after their win.
I must say I love this challenge, and you're seeing many teams doing it here where they just burst into excitement. Look at that. They're having fun. And that's what football is all about, having fun and enjoying yourselves.
And I'm glad to see the girls involved. I mean, the girls have been involved over the last few years. Remember, we did the first game of Bishops, and nobody gave Bishops a chance, and they went on to win very comfortable. So I'm enjoying the girls' games, and I just hope they go from strength to strength, because our women's football, it needs to reach another level.
Definitely. Well, listen, life is about a balance, and these student athletes have so much to balance, including their nutrition. Take a look at this feature.
When it comes to nutrition, I believe that what you put in your body will show on the field. So I always like to make sure that I'm fueling my body with things that will help me to perform my best when I'm playing.
Really, I put emphasis on meal prep, as it helps me learn what I need and how to balance it when it's coming to playing a game versus not having a game maybe. So yeah.
Well, we are fortunate that Holy Name Convent is a holistic school where these are things that are taught at a baseline level. You take care of your body is a temple. And the girls have always been very conscious about nutrition and fitness. I can speak from a few of them well, I know, have adjusted their diets to be able to either bulk up or either get leaner heading into the season for, of course, their own personal development. Each girl does their own individual work, but they collectively know what they need to do to get themselves to a place where they're physically able to deal with the challenges a season as long as this one would push on them.
Nutrition plays a big part in football because what you eat is what you put out, and you can't be playing at the highest level and not being able to support your body playing at that high level.
What we try to do at Presentation College over the last 10-11 years is bring the parents in at the start of the season, explain to them what we want. We really prepare them for 15 to 20 games per season so that the parents have to assist us, because when they're home we need to know that they're eating the right things, but sometimes we're not able to police that unless the parents buy into what we're doing.
Training, we would do like a meal, you know, our parents, we have some lovely parents who, you know, support the program, and the principal himself. So we'll do like a meal, you know, they have to put back in the protein, so we'll do probably like a peas and rice with meat at the side. Other days we would do watermelons, we would do bananas, we would do fruits, but the main thing is for the protein, we'll give them like a protein shake so that they would take as they reach home, they would mix and take, and the nutritionist would tell them how much and the quantities and how to do it.
So we try to impress on them the importance of hydration as much as possible before training, leading up to training for the day, even the day before, from the night before, hydration and getting carbohydrates in to prepare the body for the amount of work, the energy needed. And then post training, we ask them to try and get some protein in to help the muscles recover, some veg also to help with green veg specifically we ask them to do to help with the recovery for the muscles, etc. And then to put back in the fluids.
I try to keep fit as much as possible. Besides of training with the team, I do my personal training with my dad, you know, try to get my upper body better and more leg work and stuff like that. So I would say after training, I try to put back as much as salts and carbohydrates and stuff, which is also really good for you to keep yourself motivated and also playing at a high level.
Well, nutrition is really important because if you're not eating well, it can lead to a lot of injuries and stuff like that. And it's really important after the game as well to get in the proper nutrition.
We have a very unique situation here where I am directly involved in nourishing the school population and coaching the team. So it was a no-brainer to merge the two, which would just be obvious to do. I never ever make a meal without consulting our physio. We had a camp here for a week and all meals went through our physio. I put him down, I consulted with him. We made a couple of tweaks where he thought we could do better, but it's very important that we touch base with all the requirements they would need to have a balanced diet. We make sure we touch base and give them balanced meals that have protein, carbohydrates, fats. Those are the three things they need to do well.
The importance of balance, and we really want to say thank you to the student athletes for allowing SportsMax to cover them over the past few years. When we come back here at the Hazy Crawford Stadium, this is the Coca-Cola Intercol National Semi-Finals. Semi-final number 1, St. Benedict's College, the champions of the South, face off against Signal Hill Secondary, champions of Tobago. When we come back.
Hey everyone, I'm Tevin and I'm here to tell you two big things. The first thing is that Coca-Cola Intercol is back and we are ready to kick it off. Now even bigger news than that is that this year will be like no other because you and your school team have a chance to win a set of special edition Coca-Cola Intercol football shirts. Now all you have to do is join us in creating #sustainablehappiness throughout the competition.
Well, the Hazley Crawford Stadium welcomes us to the action. Coca-Cola Intercol action, semi-finals. St. Benedict's College versus Signal Hill Secondary. Both teams boasting of enormous pedigree in this competition. St. Benedict's last winning in 1998. Signal Hill, quite a few titles to their name. Team coming from Tobago, Signal Hill, producing the likes of Trinidad and Tobago's most famous player, Dwight York. Well, we arrived bright and early for this fixture. It's a contest like no other. St. Benedict's College, the Laramie Lions, making the trip all the way from South Trinidad. And they know that a second title could be on the line if they can get past this hurdle from Tobago. Of course, they did have a difficult ride getting to the finals. The South Zone finals, of course, decided by penalties against old rivals, Presentation College. And then an easy ride past Central Zone champions, Chaguanas North. But they are here and they are ready for the occasion. Oh, we're just 4 minutes away from kickoff. And, well, like St. Benedict's, they arrived from very, very far. Some nautical miles, in fact. The team from the sister isle, Signal Hill. Of course, their most famous son, as I mentioned, Dwight York, Calvin Hutchinson. Some of the most famous footballers to come from Signal Hill, multiple Tobago champions, and they have made the trip across to Trinidad and Tobago. Formerly coached by Bertil Sinclair, one of the most successful coaches in Trinidad and Tobago. Donnie Marcel is now in charge, a student, in fact, of the Bertil Sinclair coaching school. And the boys from Tobago will be hoping to bring their first trip to Trinidad and Tobago to a successful conclusion as they come up against St. Benedict's College. Well, there we go. I'll give you a sneak peek. Nicholas Bobcom and company just loosening up. And boy, do they have fun, St. Benedict's College.
It's a party. They're not preparing for a football game. James, look at them. They're just having a good time. I think that's the confidence in the team.
Donnie Marcel. Well, he's a gospel artist and he's also a football coach. did play football for Signal Hill Secondary, also part of the Sinclair coaching school where he learned his trade. He's back here in Trinidad and Tobago, familiar stomping ground for him, and he'll be hoping that he will pass on his experience to his young charges.
Tell you what, James, he couldn't get a better teacher than Bertil Sinclair to learn the art of coaching from. And Bertil, of course, the coach of Signal Hill for many, many years. But not only that, Bertil, tactically, he was so good. You know, he could have taken a very ordinary team and set them up to create real problems.
So we look at the stage in front of us. It's well set. The Laramie Lions settled in quite comfortably, known for their voracious rhythm section. The boys from the Sister Isle, confidence, perhaps the expression that is plastered across their face. They've traveled into unknown territory to face the champions of the league competition. But one wonders exactly what is on his mind. Randolph Boyce, he's already won one title. Well, you make that two if you count the South Zone Intercol title. A hat-trick of titles perhaps will be high on the agenda. Terence Lewis will assist him in the dugout. Of course, he is the goalkeeper coach. And finally, a look at the main cast for this fixture. As St. Benedict's College make their way out, they will wear the green and the yellow stripes coming up against Signal Hill in black. My name is James Saunders and Colin Murray joins me for this one. Colin, what do you make of this contest?
Well, you know, on paper, James, St. Benedict's really should be head and shoulders above Signal Hill. We haven't seen Signal Hill. We're just looking at some of their results. We went across to Tobago and we did a game with Mason Hall, and they eventually beat Mason Hall in the final. And I tell you, Mason Hall was not a bad team. They were good going forward, and they would have created problems for any opposition. So Signal Hill, just based on that, they must be a good team, and to get into a semi-final, to win out your zone and get to here, says a lot for them. So I expect them to put up a good showing, you know. And the thing is, the difference with Signal Hill and St. Benedict's, Signal Hill would have had many opportunities to see St. Benedict's right because of SportsMax and filming, but they would not have seen Signal Hill. So, you know, it's a bit of a known quantity as the teams, they're just meeting the officials and greeting one another. But that's the big difference here. If Signal Hill did their homework, they would have been able to see Benedict's, and let's see tactically how they will set up.
Well, the last Coca-Cola Intercol title for Signal Hill came all the way back in 2010. A story that came all the way back from 1982. Well, the officials are on your screen.
Referee C.J. O'Brien, James.
Yeah, he's in charge of this one. Odell Brewster and Noel Moore will provide support, while the experience of Timothy Deary will be part of the officiating cast. St. Benedict's College, 1998, their last Coca-Cola Intercol title. A team with the likes of Silvio Span, Kester Cornwall and company. And, well, they would be looking to add another one to their trophy cabinet. Let's look at who the cast members are, and it's much of the same for St. Benedict's College. Nishon Alexander keeps his place together with Nicholas Bobcom, Tariq Lee, and Ochoa will line the attack. In defense, well, they've got lots of experience there, but it's led by that man, J.U. Bachmeyer, the hero in the quarterfinal against Presentation College, and he will be in the sticks yet again. Randolph Boyce is the coach of St. Benedict's College. And for the boys from Tobago, well, unknown quantity for much of the viewing audience here in Trinidad and Tobago, but Kareem Warner will stand between the sticks. He will be assisted by Caleb Christmas. Dareem Taylor will wear the number 10. And, well, in attack, they've got Jaden King, Israel Trim, and Jedediah Phillips. They will be some of the standout names expected to contribute, while the experience of Donnie Marcel will be in the dugout. A beautiful atmosphere for a beautiful occasion, a grand occasion indeed, the first of two semi-finals here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. It's St. Benedict's College in green coming up against Signal Hill. We await kickoff. Well, they start as quickly as they made their way onto the field. St. Benedict's College holding on to the early possession in this match. Did get a 6-0 win that got them to this stage after beating Chaguanas North, the eventual Central Zone champions, of course replacing Karapichama East, who were unceremoniously disqualified for a rogue player. And this is a match that has lots of expectations. Who do you see starting brightly first, Colin Murray?
Well, I expect St. Benedict's to get on the front foot, James. They're going to take the game to Signal Hill. As I said, it's going to be an unknown quantity for St. Benedict's, but to be honest, James, they're not going to care. St. Benedict's play one way. They like to come forward with the ball. They've got some really good attacking players. Funnily enough, Garcia is on the bench today, and Jaden Grant has started. He's the one who's going to be probably pushing up front, and you'll have the likes of Bobcom, Ochoa, Lee and Niles just behind him. So I expect Jaden Grant to be pushing up front, whereas the rest of them are going to certainly be playing around him.
So getting an early touch of that one is the goalkeeper Bachmeier. Well, he's been a hero since his shutout win against Presentation College. Well, here comes Tariq Lee and St. Benedict's College as they look to push forward. And well, they're quite patient in their build-up play. St. Benedict's College as Morris gets his first touch of the ball. Niles looking for space inside. Just find his man who has a ton load of space there, Maureen. They do move the ball quite nicely. Signal Hill quite compact and winning possession in the middle of the field. Well, they choose to counter-attack here. And well, hold on to possession. And they look quite comfortable so far. Well, as they've given it away as soon as I said that. And this one is dumped high into the area. I have seen some of their games, Colin Murray, and you would have traveled to Tobago as well. They are quite a physical bunch, Signal Hill.
Yeah, when you look at Signal Hill players over the years, though, James, they're always big, tall, strapping lads. This Signal Hill team, you're really not seeing very much strapping guys. You're not seeing tall, strapping guys. There's the coach of St. Benedict's, very successful coach, Randolph Boyce, and he's a very confident man as well. He knows exactly how he wants his team to play, and they play exactly how he wants them to play, and they play to that way.
Well, they're trying to get Lee going forward, and it's a heavy challenge, and it will be the first corner of the match, a corner that goes in favor of St. Benedict's College.
I would like to see Signal put in a little more pressure on when St. Benedict's get the ball. High press them. There's the coach, Donny Marcel of the Signal Hill, as they rightly said as well, James. He's a man who has learned under Bertil Sinclair, and that's why I'm hoping to see a good tactical game from Signal Hill.
Well, 8 green shirts in the area, and they attack this one. Well, it falls kindly for a green shirt here, and it's eagerly booted away by Signal Hill. Happy to get that going far.
That was Defoe. I thought he was brought down there. I thought it was a late challenge coming on him. But referee C.G. O'Brien, he had a look. But that's all he did, had a look.
Alexander surveys his option and chooses the one of Niles overhit. And it will be Signal Hill to regain possession. We welcome all of our viewers across the Caribbean, wherever you looked on. Of course, on the SportsMax app or YouTube channels. And of course, those in Tobago. Well, Signal Hill trying to get forward. And a promising ball could get in behind St. Benedict's College. Well cut out in the end. And Brown charged it, getting it away. Well, the Laramie Lions have produced some delicious players in the past. Many top names come to mind. Kendall Neck Davis. Think of one of the prolific attackers of the past in Benedict's era. Dia Hunt, Issa Razi come to mind as well. Have been in and around secondary school football and the Coca-Cola Intercol. Certainly a name in the South Zone. In fact, the trophy cabinet doesn't quite line up as much with the type of players that they've produced over the years in Benedict's College.
Conditions are quite good as well, James. That's a dangerous ball, but nearly that man coming in there nearly pipped it. That is trim, but the conditions are pretty nice. I think the ground is good. We haven't had real rain for them, thankfully, for about a day or two. So I think the ground is really in good
this is
condition.
promising as it gets in behind St. Benedict's College. If he can keep it in, and before it's too long for him in the end. But the first signs of trouble from Signal Hill as they try to make inroads offensively against St. Benedict's.
And that wasn't a bad move at all, looking to play it wide to that man running down that right side, Defoe, and he just couldn't get it. But a good movement here from Signal Hill, knocking the ball around and then trying to spread it to get it wide. So it's promising so far from Signal Hill.
Benedicts. We haven't seen much offensive foray from the Larmian Lions so far. Coach did mention that he was going to survey Signal Hill, see how they play. Hasn't had a look at them much this season. And here they come. They tried to show the attacking intent that is broken up well by St. Benedict's College. And Niles has dropped really deep so far in this match to find space in and around the area, as Grant is muscled out of possession, but he comes again, Grant. And finally St. Benedict's College pushed two forward to their skipper. And Lee goes all the way back. It is Garcia. Well, that's a bad pass from Garcia, and well, he's brought his man down. In the attempt, Israel Trim is the one that is fouled, and it will be a free kick to Signal Hill. Of course, the finalist in the Coca-Cola Intercol will be traveling to Jamaica in January to face the champions there.
Now, James, the two teams that are in fact in the league, St. Benedict's and Fatima, who contested the final in the league, they are the chosen two that will travel to Jamaica to come up against the Jamaican champions.
Well, there's little doubt, though, in the minds of many spectators that Fatima College and St. Benedict's could be carving a road there. Of course, unless Signal Hill has something to say about that. Oh, that's clever skill here now as they push forward. And they're in a dangerous area here. The chance opening up, and it's just over the head in the end of Jaden King, who was in a really good position. And well, St. Benedict's Signal Hill, they're putting St. Benedict's under pressure.
I think they've started very well, you know, and you're looking at St. Benedict's, they're not the fast usual, you know, they run at 150 miles an hour. But I think they're slowing down the game, they're knocking it around. For some reason, I don't know if they're just trying to see what Signal Hill has to offer, because they've not played Signal Hill, they've not even seen them play. So I think they've started a little slowly, and Signal Hill certainly are doing well.
Lee, if anybody can, he can, and well, he's found some space for himself, opening up the field nicely. Gets Morris involved. And it's across with Niles. Will attack his man directly here, Niles. And it's a cutback. Well, it's deflected, and it's gone in. And it's St. Benedict's College. Well, against the run of play, they've gotten back into the contest. An easy finish in the end, started by Niles and ended in style by St. Benedict's College. And finally, those boys on the bench can celebrate because they lead by 1-0.
And you have to admit, it's you know, that was what was coming in a way. You see, you cannot give St. Benedict's any room. The ball was played over from Lee and then went wide to Niles. Look at the room Niles had. Look at it. He's got too much pace for that. Sends it back, and Ochoa. It was deflected. It might have been going out, the shot, but it was deflected in. And Ochoa doesn't care. St. Benedict's doesn't care. The most important thing is after 9 minutes, they go 1-0 up.
Well, Ochoa part of the National Under-17 setup, and well, showing his experience there. Signal Hill, well, showing quite the opposite.
You cannot give Niles, if you've done your homework, James, you just cannot give Niles that kind of room to run at you, because he's going to tear you apart.
Oh, 5 at the back for Signal Hill, and well, they're goal down at the moment, and here's the goal scorer, Ochoa, and that's a good tackle. Ochoa, of course, you might remember his face. He was part of a pre-show interview. He spoke about his experience with the National Under-17 team and how he feels that it has improved his game, and well, they certainly would be thinking that he has added to their team, the flag wavers.
And you know, it's funny because they did not start well, St. Benedict's. They started, to me, a little bit slowly, and Signal Hill certainly were making inroads, going down both sides of the field, and had a good chance. As a matter of fact, they should have opened the scoring. The ball was played just over the head of King, and because of that, then St. Benedict's came on the attack and scored. But you really have to say that the best chance created first was by Signal Hill.
Oh, well, that's good skill from St. Benedict's College, and now was the assister in the opening goal of the match. Morris hasn't really gotten Bobcom and the right side engaged much, as that one is cut out and route to Bobcom. Good defending. from the Signal Hill team. Oh, the reset to come again. And, well, Niles toss come in a rather deep position to get possession. And, well booted away again by the 5-man defense of Signal Hill.
I think Signal Hill, they've got to keep this score at 1-0, because the longer you can keep it at 1-0, the more confidence you will get.
Oh, this is clever.
They just cannot afford to concede another goal.
The touch takes it out for a throw. Oh, did show a good bit of skill here. A chance from Signal Hill, and just over the head of Jaden King there. And well, football can be a cruel contest, because almost immediately on the opposite end, St. Benedict scored. And just shows how cruel football matches can be, and when you don't take your chances.
James, you hit the nail on the head. I was about to say that. If you don't take your chances, you can suffer.
Well, they look to swing this one in the area. They've got 4 waiting, and it does get up to one of them just over the head. It's with Niles looking for space, brings Morris in. Morris has some option. He gets it back in reverse ball, and Lee gets it safely to Niles. This time he tries again, and Signal Hill defense doing well to repel the attack of the Laramie Lions. Well, it's not exactly the confidence-boosting touch from the goalkeeper.
He knew what he was going to do, though, because again, that's a very well-trained routine. You pass it back to the goalie as you're going back, whoever, you just spread wide. So he tends, much like you, James, when you were in the goal, except I don't know if you kicked it well, but we won't go there.
Here's Bobcom, one who does kick it very well. Did score quite a few goals in the competition this season. Yes. He's lost possession in a bad area, and Signal Hill will look to exploit here. And they're finding space to the middle, and a heavy retreating from Lee. Takes away the danger. And Lee seemed to have dropped into a deeper position, a deeper role this time, the Benedict skipper.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? Well, because you got Grant up front. Grant is the man that is going to strike. So once he's up front, Lee can drop back, and you're going to find Lee now looking to create space for himself and for the other midfielders, and trying to thread it through to Grant.
Well, it hasn't been the tidiest of matches so far, as Signal Hill again tried to carve open the green defense, and without much success this time around. It hasn't been the tightest defense. Both teams trading possession quite easily. Signal Hill secondary, certainly no pushovers. They've competed well apart from the opening goal of the match, and they would feel that they could be in to get something from this fixture. That's too long for anybody. Would be an easy throw for the boys from Tobago. How do you think they've stood up so far? Their first match playing here at the National Stadium this season.
They haven't done badly. I think they have some confidence going forward. But of course, against St. Benedict's, you've got to be tight at the back. That's a major thing. And if you're not tight at the back, you're going to suffer. But I like how they're going forward. They're using the widths of the field. They've got that guy, Devines, going down the left side. Defoe is trying to come down the right side. And of course, they've got King as well. He's spreading wide. So I like how they set up. It's just how if they can keep St. Benedict's at bay.
Morris. Niles. And a heavy block pressure ahead of them forces them all the way around St. Benedict's College. They are set up really decently, Signal Hill. Quite compact in the middle. They've made it difficult for skipper Tariq Lee to really get involved, as this one is cut out, almost cut out. St. Benedict's College. They go a bit more vertical. This time it's easily defended by Signal Hill. Defoe doing the defending. Well, can they get a pattern of play going here, the Tobago boys? Heavy touch, and well, he's won it back. And Jaden King is one for the highlight reels, but he lost possession in a bad area, and fortunately for him, St. Benedict's College don't capitalize. Oh, possession really being treated at the time. Nice team really settling into any real pattern of play at the moment.
Nice support to James for St. Benedict to see a few teachers in front in the covered section, and of course the principal is there. He's at every game, and it's so great to see the principal, because you know, if you're one of the players on the field, one of the boys, it's great to see some of your teachers, the principal. You know you have the backing of the school.
Morris. He's opened up some space. He's gotten past the 3, and well, not the best ball, or the ball that Niles was anticipated, but he's kept it well. Morris has the attention of 3 defenders, and well, they've taken it off him. They've done really well to recover their signal hill. It will be a St. Benedict's throw. Well, that's exactly what you're talking about. They're all in their colours.
That's right. And they've got their little mini flags. One gentleman there with the big St. Benedict's flag, but then some of them as well with the mini flags. And it's great the kind of support that they give to this team.
Lee, well, did have his eyes on finding Maureen. It's well cut out though by Devines. And it's still with St. Benedict's College, maybe opening up room for a shot here. Deflects off the defender, and the referee allows play to continue. In fact, he's pulled it back. Might have been a handball, so will be a free kick. The first for St. Benedict's College, just at the edge of the signal area. And maybe a chance for the boys from Laramine to add to their 1-goal advantage. In fact, he's offered a jump ball instead. And well, a bit sportingly so as well. Here's Morris, seems to be everywhere. Morris goes all the way home to Alexander. Looking for room, and he just can't get past the black wall in front of him, can he? Dimas. Buckmeyer. They've really made it difficult for St. Benedict's College to get any sort of fluency the way that Signal Hill have been set up. Coach Marcel, quite a bit of experience for him. Did come up under the Sinclair coaching banner. I would have learned a lot from Bertil Sinclair, who of course took Trinidad and Tobago to the World Cup final in, can't remember the year, Colin Murray? In the early 2000s, David Naked missing a penalty as he went down 1-0 to Canada in the semi-final.
Something like 2002, I believe. But
well, this could open up some space here. Grant. Niles has gotten past his man well. Can he pick out a green shirt? Not this time, not well defended though. And they would scramble clear, and might be a goal kick in the end. C.J. O'Brien confirms.
Yeah, they got a goal kick there. A very interesting bit of defending because the defender, I believe it was Phillips, went right down to take it on his chest. I thought he might have looked to hit that away one time. Let's have a look. He was going stooping way down. Not Phillips, that was Dublin. But he could have, I was wondering why he just didn't take it one time and clear it right back upfield. He took a real chance there because coming off of his chest, that could have gone anywhere.
Anybody's ball as they compete. Popcom challenging it for this one, and just using his strength, Nicholas Popcom, and he wins it well. There's that burst of pace on Popcom, and this time he can't get past his man, who was sliding in quite ferociously to prevent him from pushing forward.
That was a really good challenge, but Popcom, look at him, change of pace, he's away, and look at that tackle from Jack. What a good tackle. He had to make connection there with the ball, or else it would have, he called for a foul. But not only that, if he didn't make connection, Popcom was away. So what a good tackle.
No nonsense defending. And
it seems that
Trim is the man down at the moment, receiving some attention. Didn't quite see the incident where it left him bedridden, so to speak. No real concerns though from the sidelines as the players up for some refreshment. And it might just have been this challenge here, Colin Murray. Just a knee to the back.
Yeah, that's right.
And well, came down on the receiving end of that one, Trim. And it was Maureen the culprit. But the good news here at the Hazy Crawford Stadium is that he's back on his feet.
That's right.
And well, all's well, that ends well.
Crowd starting to build up nicely here. And you think you've got St. Benedict's and a Tobago team involved. So it's building nicely. Not only that, James, there's a team that probably going to win the World Cup, Argentina, playing at this point in time at 3 o'clock. So you'd find that maybe a lot of people who are going to come down here glued on the televisions, but they very well may come for the second game, the 5 o'clock game.
Certainly. Well, Morris, starting position is at left wing back, has drifted quite often to the middle of the field. Well, here's a man that we haven't seen much. Lee gets Niles involved, has movement ahead of him, and doesn't make the right decision to find the right pass, but he does win a throw. Well cut out by Signal Hill. Well, he's found his man in a yard of space here, Maureen. Ochoa did score the opening goal of the match, and he's looking to assist now as he picks out Niles. Has space ahead of him. Finds Lee, the flag stays down. Here's Tariq Lee, the captain of St. Benedict's. Niles, 5 green shirts in the area, and it falls to one of them, Ochoa. Can he find a yard of room here? And that's a fantastic defending from Signal Hill, but it's only as far as Brown. They're keeping possession, Niles applying pressure. Morris gets Niles involved. Bodies piling forward inside the area. Lee into traffic, trying to find holes. None available at the moment as they retreat.
They're starting to really dominate proceedings now here, James. They're knocking the ball around nicely and creating chances for themselves.
But Brown to wrestle for this one. Morris gives a helping boot, and they will reapply pressure to Niles, and it didn't seem that Lee read the idea in the head of that man Niles, so it will be a goal kick to Signal Hill, who will get the opportunity to catch a breath.
And they certainly will need to do that, because it's relentless pressure now from St. Benedict's. They're moving the ball around nicely, and it's just a matter of time, I think, before they create another good opportunity to put the ball in the back of the net. But good defending so far from Signal Hill, and I tell you, the longer they can keep it at 1-0, the more confident they will become that they may be able to pull a goal back. And if they can pull a goal back, then that's not too bad. But if Signal Hill were to concede another goal, you think in the next 5 or so minutes the floodgates can open.
Well, certainly no strangers to this competition, Signal Hill. 6-time national Intercol winners.
And all back in the 70s, 80s?
Well, they did start in 1982, their last one coming in 2010, and they did have a run of 3 back-to-back titles in 1989, 1988 and 1987.
Yes, I would think so. That's when they were at their strongest.
So they believe that they have a right to be here at this stage of the competition, Signal Hill.
They've got pedigree, haven't they?
Certainly have. Here's Bobcom. Well, he's done well to open some doors ahead of him, and Lee couldn't find a way through as the yellow sock takes it away from him. Could fall nicely for Ochoa if he can keep it in, but he can't, and it will be a throw to Signal Hill. Produced some really good players in the past, and
Lee is down.
Yeah, he's down at the moment,
yes,
and will receive some attention. But they have certainly produced top players in the past coming out of the Signal Hill camp. Think about the World Cup team that represented Trinidad and Tobago. They did have a couple of players that would have come to the Signal Hill ranks, and then even going back to your time, Colin Murray.
Yeah, no, they've had some really good players. The thing with the Signal Hill players, and under Bertil Sinclair, they were well coached. They were well coached. Tactically, they were good. So there were a lot of good things about them over in that era. And not only that, they were big guys. They were tough guys. And of course, when you go into Tobago, it was difficult to beat them in their own backyard. Because you had to travel. Look, a yellow card has been given to Defoe of Signal Hill.
Yeah, that's of course getting on the toes of Tariq Lee, as you would have seen just a few moments earlier. You're quite right, Colin Murray.
Yeah, and I think that was their big strength. And they were just, everybody used to say, well, what are they eating in Tobago? What are they feeding these guys? They were big guys, but I think since then they've seemed to they've gone away from what they were cooking for the guys, and they've gone back to maybe some different type of recipes. But it was always difficult to go to Signal Hill and win. Now I think things are a little different. They've got to start their program again, and I'm very happy to see their coach coming out of that Bertil St-Hilaire setup, because I still maintain good coaching, knowing the basics, that you're halfway there.
Well, I did see him quite recently, Bertil Sinclair, my last foray into the Sister Isle. Did internationally coach both Trinidad and Tobago and the St. Vincent's and the Grenadines national team at one time. His last appearance, I believe, for Trinidad and Tobago would have been at the 2000 Gold Cup. Did also coach at the 1998 World Cup, and he's credited, in fact, with Trinidad and Tobago's best position in that tournament. Certainly has a strong hand on the Signal Hill team.
I think Lee has come off. Not so.
Happening off
That's
the field
bad
at the
news.
moment, as Tariq Lee has been deemed unable to continue. Certainly is a big blow for St. Benedict's College. He is their talisman, and he hasn't returned to the field since he did get that knock. And there is a player being warmed up to replace him at the moment, Colin Murray.
Yep, that's Lucas.
Another Tariq, Tariq Lucas.
Yeah.
So that is the expected change, and one wonders how this will affect the psyche of the St. Benedict's College team, who have certainly depended on Tariq Lee.
They have, but the thing is with them, another real strong player for Benedict's in Garcia is not playing as well. So, I think this is a good opportunity for Signal Hill.
Well, good idea. Yep. And, the execution was lacking a bit, but the intentions are quite clear from Signal Hill. They get another shot on target, this time coming from Israel Trim.
But James, I was just making the point, without Garcia and Lee, who knows? Signal Hill could certainly have a little bit of a chance, because when you have the offense that Signal Hill has with Lee and Garcia, plus Niles, Ochoa, Bobcom, it's a difficult team to hold back. But without Garcia and Lee, who knows? Signal Hill could very well commentate on their own.
We'll be approaching the half-hour mark in this fixture, semi-final of the Coca-Cola Intercol. St. Benedict's College leading Signal Hill by 1-0. A goal scored by Josiah Ochoa. Signal Hill have had some attempts at goal, but not really troubling goalkeeper Buckmeyer so far. Well, maybe that could change here, but they've lost it. And away comes St. Benedict's College. Niles. Morris, they've linked up really well, that combination. Still struggling to find space as Signal Hill defend really well. Is Brown has his eyes on Bobcom, and he does find Bobcom, who's in some space here. Grant is in the middle. So too now is Bobcom. A yard of pace, and he keep it in. And unlike the Japan against Spain, that one was deemed to have crossed the line before he got it over. Will be a Signal Hill kick.
Was it Japan, Spain? Yes, it was, wasn't it? Well, there is the confirmation of the substitution. Tariq Lee, the skipper of St. Benedict's, coming off for Tariq Lucas. And we'll have to wait and see just how much Lee will be missed, because when things not going so well, Lee tends to step up and put the ball in the back of the net. But they'll have to do it without him today.
Well, for those of you World Cup buffs wondering what's happening in the match between Argentina and Australia, still goalless after the half-hour mark across there in Qatar. It's Argentina and Australia. Still no goals in that match. Had a goal here, goal scored by Ochoa, and it's a goal that has St. Benedict's College in the lead. It's Brown. Morris. Oh, he's out-muscled here, Morris. And,
I like the effort.
Will be a throw. Certainly stood up to the test so far, Signal Hill. King in particular showed his vicissitude. The referee O'Brien unhappy about something, and St. Benedict's fans will be unhappy by the sight of that man at the sideline you just saw. And that's well defended. Will be a St. Benedict's goal kick. Just got a feel for the neutral fans as well as the fans who've looked at Tariq Lee all season. He has been one of the top performers in the competition. It's a pity to see him leave the field so early. No matter who you're backing, you always want to see the best players on. So we've gotten to the half-hour mark, and St. Benedict's College lead by a 1-0 against Signal Hill. This, of course, is the Coca-Cola Intercol semi-final here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Trinidad. The first of 2 semi-finals that will be played here at this venue. Coming up next, Fatima College will take on Trinity East, who are the champions of the East competition. I know we've spoken about it a lot, Colin Murray, but a big surprise seeing Trinity East replacing San Juan, who were dominant in the league competition.
Yeah, I suppose so in a way. But you know, I remember here's the Fatima team. They're just taking in the game. They look very interested, don't they? But you know, I'm just saying that Trinity East. You know, before the game, I felt that they were going to give San Juan a good game. Somehow, you know, I felt tactically they were going to play it well. You know, they held on to SSFL and to Noel, didn't give them the room in which to play the ball around. SSFL was subjected to long shots and that kind of thing. And they scored a real opportunist goal. That could be a yellow card, but they scored a real opportunist goal. That is, who is that getting
the second yellow of the match? It goes to Morris, and a heavy challenge. And he's really taking a piece out of his man there, didn't he?
Yep. Oh, whoa, that's late. Well, yeah, and you know, you felt that Trinity East would have stood a chance. They absorbed the pressure from San Juan North. They kept Noel at bay. They kept SSFL at bay, and they got the one opportunity. It was a mistake that Forston capitalized and scored the goal. And you know, you got to give them credit. One has to remember in the league, James, they lost 3 games 1-0 by the 1-0 margin, which was also against Presentation. So this Trinity East is not a bad team. Everybody just thinks of Presentation and Naparima and Fatima and St. Benedict's, but Trinity East is not a bad team. And you know, if Fatima don't play well, Trinity East can spring a surprise. And I'm not suggesting that they will beat Fatima. What I'm suggesting is, if Fatima don't play well, they can spring a surprise, Trinity East.
All the good news is our Trim back on his feet after the heavy barge in from Morris. Physiotherapist Mervyn McMillan doing the repair job, and it will be a kick for Signal Hill, deep into the area, easy in the end for Buckmeyer.
Of course, Buckmeyer was the hero of the South final against Presentation, and there is confirmation of the yellow card to Morris. But yeah, Buckmeyer was the hero. James came up with 2 or 3 big saves against Presentation, and basically won the game for St. Benedict's. And you never thought of that. Who would have said before the game that their goalkeeper would have been the hero? You know, you were looking at Lee or Garcia and thinking, well, which one of them will be the man of the match?
There's a funny story about Buckmeyer. Of course, I played second fiddle to Thane Devonish for much of the season. I was given the opportunity to play in the knockout competition, and well, talk about taking your opportunities when you get them.
Yeah, now you can't replace him, can you?
Well, that's going to be difficult. Thane Devonish, of course, is a national product as well, so it's good competition. As well, he's back on his feet now and looking good. Israel Trim trying to open some doors for Signal Hill, and well, wayward pass ends what was a promising attack from the Tobago boys.
Wasn't that a good run though, James, by Trim? He looked good going down that left side.
Well, he looked good after getting that knock from Morris earlier. Of course, the fans back in Signal Hill going to be happy to see him back on his feet. And well, Morris again given a citation for another rugged challenge.
He's got to be careful
on Jaden King.
He's got to be careful. He's on a yellow card. Well, he's lucky the referee's having a word with him, because another referee on another day would have pulled out another yellow card and sent him off. So he's got to be careful, Morris.
Yeah, big boy action. Just a shoulder barge into the back there of Jaden King. And Donnie Marcel was on his feet with his arms wide open asking, what was that, referee?
He's right.
Well, Philip has a job, and that's to get the ball past that man, Buckmeyer. He's lining it up, is 6 black shirts in the area. This one is deep and good looking, headed away though by Morris. And Grant to come away with it, and Hanson Benedict's College exploit the space behind. Niles' pass is well cut out, but they do keep it alive. Brong, Ochoa looking for Bobcom, and his pass is cut out as well. And in battle for this one, Brong doing well to win it back, illegally so, says CJ O'Brien. And you can tell what the crowd thinks about that decision from those groans you heard. It's increasingly becoming a physical contest, this one between Signal Hill and St. Benedict's College.
It's a good contest at the moment. It's not a walkover as we may have anticipated for St. Benedict's, but remember, in their last game against Chagona Snow, they were only 1 goal up at halftime, so who knows, maybe they need to get a real talking to or rollicking at halftime from the coach for them to up the game. But Signal Hill are holding their own. This has been a good performance. Let's make that quite clear. It's been a good performance from Signal Hill. I think they're trying to use the width of the field, especially going on that left side with Devines and Trim. They're trying to come down that side, try to get the ball in to maybe Taylor and King. So they're not doing badly.
Well, kept that in well. It's well defended by St. Benedict's College, who come away with it. Stomped back into the area. Signal Hill not done with the attack just yet. And as that one goes into touch, might be a good time to tell you that Argentina
take it easy, James. Take it easy, James.
Again, that's Colin Morris' favorite team, by the way. You can tell by his response against Australia.
I was wondering what was taking them so long.
Well,
Australia must be playing pretty well, pretty defensive. Against teams like that, James, you've got to set up in a way where you stifle them. Do not allow them the room in which to play the ball around. Stifle them. Let them go back and square and things like that. But don't let them play the penetrative passes. And Australia are good at that. I saw them against was it Denmark? I think they beat Denmark 1-0, and they stifled the Danes. The Danes just couldn't they were just pumping long balls into the box, and it was being headed away. But we have a corner for Signal Hill.
Paul, I'll give you one chance to guess the score of that goal, as this Signal Hill corner sent it in at Bachmeier, and ball goes over the top. And you would reset again with a goal kick. You've got one opportunity to guess the score, Colin Murray.
Well, there's only one Maradona, there's only one Pele, so there must only be one Messi.
There we go. Smart fella. Can you guess the next score in this match?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. That could be any one of 4 or 5.
So Nicolas Otamendi providing the goal for Lionel Messi and Argentina as they lead by 1-0. Similar scoreline here at the Hazy Crawford Stadium as St. Benedict's College, they lead to Josiah Ochoa goal against Signal Hill. Oh, dancing feet there from Ochoa. Morris. Bring it wronged and wronged. Bachmeier gets a touch. Oh, that's untidy from Bachmeier, and the Signal Hill were almost in. Certainly licking his chops there, Jareem Taylor. So dreams of the promised land as the goalkeeper malfunctioned for a second. Brong gets Maureen involved. A heavy touch from Maureen. Just keep it in. Well, they're looking for holes, none to be had in the defense of Signal Hill, who have stood resolute so far. Niles, it's good defending, and they come away with it. Signal Hill, and they trade possession. It's Achilles' heel of their play so far. They've defended quite well, Signal Hill, but the chance is open up here. Nicholas Bobcom is in here, and Nicholas Bobcom has made it 2-0 to St. Benedict's College. Well, they say, ask and it will be granted unto you. He asked questions of the defense, and open sesame. He found a way in at the near post, and nothing Warner could do in the end. St. Benedict's College against the run of play, taking a 2-goal advantage against St. Benedict's.
Well, I think the goalie could have done a little better. It seemed tough pass, and when we have a look at that again, James, we'll see. But I thought it passed between him. It may have hit him and went in at the first post. Now look at Bobcom. He's ahead of that defense, and he's gonna. Yeah, well, the keeper had to come. but still the angle, he should have been protecting that first post. It seemed to have hit him and went in, but it was difficult because, you know, the defense let him down. They allowed Bobcom to get the first run on them, and Bobcom is quick. Once he gets a yard or two on you, you're not going to catch him. Just like Niles on the left, Bobcom is on the right attack, and he is also very, very quick. But that goal came 30 minutes after the first goal, and you just felt that St. Benedict's needed another goal before halftime, whereas you felt if Signal Hill can just hold them to that one goal, who knows what could have happened in the second half. But with 2-0 now, St. Benedict's, they've got a little bit of a cushion.
So the man from St. Mary's Village in Moruga adding the second for St. Benedict's College, and just wonder now how it changes the complexion of the match going into halftime. Signal Hill with a 5-man defense will be forced to mount explorations forward in search of goals. And I just felt that going in halftime at 1-0, it certainly would have made things interesting going into the second half. It's a different dimension now, Colin Murray.
Yeah, it's can't see much of a tactical change for Signal Hill. They may want to get another striker on, or someone up front, you know, someone in the midfield, an attacking midfielder maybe. But once you do that, you're gonna sacrifice at the back.
Well, here's Bobcom again on a gingerbread man run, and this time halting in his pursuit, but he shows good strength. He wins it back and almost keeps it alive, but it does go out into touch. And does have a burst of pace, Nicholas Bobcom. Very worrisome for teams, and they've experienced that all season.
Yeah, if you give him space behind you, especially behind you, James, he's going to take off like a bullet. You're not going to catch him, you know. So you've got to keep him as a defender. You've got to keep Bobcom in front of you. Don't let him get level or just behind you, or you're not going to catch him.
St. Benedict's 2-goal cushion. Less than 3 minutes remaining for halftime. Seen lots of extra time in the World Cup matches, not so much so in the Intercol fixtures, but enough time maybe for Signal Hill to give themselves something going into halftime. Well, just a bit more space appearing now that they've got that cushion. St. Benedict's College with Signal Hill forced to put more bodies forward. Brown into the back of Grant, who holds it up well. And now they're finding space. Maureen looking to find the pace of Bobcom. It's a foot race that Bobcom is winning. He's got 2 in the area, and excellent defending in the end. Just took it off the head. Jack with the last ditch touch, and seemed to be finding Ochoa before that. Well, can they answer back now, Signal Hill? They've got 6 national titles. They'll be hoping to get in a position to get maybe number 7. Not this time, at least. And well, just played that out of touch because there is a player down at the moment on the far side.
Is it Marian? Not sure if it's Marian.
It is no, it's Alexander who's on the ground.
That's right.
And well, he's wearing the captain armband now with the substitution of Tariq Lee, who, by the way, went out early in this match due to an injury. He's
sitting on the track, James, and he's got like an ice pack on his ankle, and he's got this ice pack on his ankle. He's sitting on the track. Let's hope it's not too serious, and maybe just a little bit of swelling. There it is, James. A wonderful work by our experienced cameraman there.
Looks like Zara with the shot, and yeah, big football fan Zara. Was a former player herself.
Was she? Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
What position?
I can't attest how good she was, but she did play.
Did she? Okay. Maybe she can teach you a thing or two, James. But there is so Lee with that ankle all strapped.
Well, they almost gave it away there to Jareem Taylor rather. Quite fortunate escapes in Benedict's College. As we are into the final minutes of the 45, 1 minute anticipated to be added to this one. And well, it's fair to say that in Benedict's College are in the driver's seat at the moment. Got to find a way to pick themselves up, Signal Hill. It's 2 goals down, but certainly by no means out of the competition. Here's Taylor. He could change that to give them some hope into halftime. And, well, it's a foul, says O'Brien.
They've got a free kick.
And an opportunity has granted itself to Signal Hill. And maybe it's one that they'll be hoping to hold on to with both hands just before halftime.
James, there is the ball was played to Taylor at first. Taylor then played it across to King, but I was just wondering, Taylor could have had a go. The ball came to him, and I'm not sure why he didn't shoot one time. He turned inside and then laid it off to King, but they've got a free kick, so let's hope they make use of this free kick. And when I say make use of it, you've got to get it on target. Make the keeper save.
Well, one of Trinidad and Tobago's most renowned free kick takers in recent time, Keon Daniel, did come from the Sister Isle. And this time it will be Jaden King to show if he's got any of that quality. Just about 18 yards out. 5-man wall ahead of him. And Buckmeyer, who saves penalties for breakfast. But he's a king. And he'd need a royal performance from this set piece if he is to get Signal Hill back in the contest. And, well, it's royally off target.
Yeah, that's a poor free kick. You know, he was trying to clear the wall, obviously, but his technique was all bad, and you know, he went for a little bit of power, and of course it went high over the bar, but not a well. You thought that they would have worked that free kick much better than they did.
So we are into the time that has been added. In fact, we've surpassed the 1 minute, and C.J. O'Brien just looking at his watch as in Benedict's mount one attack forward, and well, it look a bit uncomfortable. There's a bit of a high breeze around the ground, and he does hold on to it.
CJ seems to be enjoying the action because we nearly a minute and a half over.
Oh, there we go. Right on cue, C.J. O'Brien calls an end to the first half of action. It's a first half that has produced highlight moments for St. Benedict's College. 2, in fact, as they take that advantage into the break for Signal Hill. The repair job starts now. 45 minutes and a conversation at halftime to right their sinking ship, because at halftime here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, it is St. Benedict's College 2, Signal Hill 0. The players will have a chance of break and refreshment as the final score, or the halftime score, is confirmed. We take a break and we come back with the highlights.
we are pitch side at the Hazley Crawford Stadium for halftime at the Intercol, Coca-Cola Intercol National semi-finals between St. Benedict's College and Signal Hill, with St. Benedict's leading 2-0. Joining me now is assistant coach Navi Roach. So coach, thoughts on your team's first half performance?
Well, we're a little slow to the ball right now, but I am sure that second half will be faster with more quality also on the ball, because we kind of giving away the ball a little now, but second half we will sort it out and come back in this game for sure.
Well, as we just mentioned, you guys are down 2-0. Now what's on the line is this match determines whether you guys are in the finals next week. So what needs to happen in the next 45?
Well, as I was saying, we just need to take care of the ball better, zone more, because you know the side is playing more deep than us, so we need to step up a little more, zone, win the ball, and when we win the ball, take care of it, give some quality on the ball and score goals.
Thank you so much, coach. All the best in second half. That is assistant coach of Signal Hill, Navi Roach. And joining me now is assistant coach of St. Benedict's College, Clint McMillan. So coach, your team is going into second half ahead by 2 goals. Performed as expected?
Yeah, as I said last interview, we are attacking team. We are about attacking. So to keep that momentum, to keep the quality, to keep we style of play, we have to keep attacking. Nice.
And as we know, this is knockout football. Finals on the line. That's next week. What needs to happen in second half for you guys?
Well, so far, the last 3 opponents after we play Perez trying to play a low line block. Today, this team playing the block a little higher up. They play 5 in the back. So what we need to do is improve and playing in the half spaces and the pockets. Keep the combination of plays going, and from there, we will get the results that we're looking for.
All the best in second half, coach.
Thank you,
that is assistant coach Clint McMillan for St. Benedict's College. Right about now, let's take in some highlights from the match so far. So commentary, over to you.
Well, thanks so much, Siobhan, and of course having a chat with the coaches to hear their thoughts. Well, we've heard that. Let's see what happened, and of course Signal Hill getting in the action early. Jalen King with an opportunity just over his head, and then this happened. Morris and a good ball into Niles, isolated 1v1, and when he does that, he creates enough space, and it's Josiah Ochoa with the decisive touch, and then it was 1-0 to St. Benedict's College. Easy does it, finding a pocket. And then after that, it was more from the men in the green and gold shirts. Although Signal Hill did try to create some opportunities. This one from one of their most decisive players, Israel Trim, all the way to the goalkeeper. But then the Laramie men had a moment of malfunction. Goalkeeper Buckmeyer creating a moment of scare. Then Niles combining well, and they find Bob coming some space, and with that burst of pace, not even the Energizer Bunny could catch him. And the goalkeeper, he couldn't stop him either. And it meant that St. Benedict's College took a 2-0 advantage just before halftime. And Bob Conn would be involved later again, this time trying to find Grant, well defended by Signal Hill, who find themselves trailing by 2-0. Let's take a look at the numbers.
Well, 2 shots on for St. Benedict's, 4 for Signal Hill, and the 2 shots on target for St. Benedict's. Well, we know what happened with that. Both went in the goal. 1 shot on target for Signal Hill. 5 fouls to 2. 1 yellow card each for both the teams. No red cards, no offsides. 1 corner piece as well, and 1 save for the St. Benedict's custodian. And look at the percentage: 64% for St. Benedict's, 36% for Signal Hill. But at the end of it, that's the most important the statistic there is St. Benedict's. They lead by 2 goals to 0. Let's go to Hans and see who he has with him.
Thank you very much, guys. On the pitch, joined by acting principal of St. Benedict's College, Hemati Jalil. Listen, you are such a supporter of this team as the acting principal, but I know so much went into the team being at this point and at this level. So tell us about some of the things.
All right, so in terms of to understand where we are today, we have to go back into our historical attic, and we have to understand and we have to remember the brainchild, the ideology of Dom Basil Matthews. It was his idea that we should promote co-curricular together with the academics, and we have married to such to be where we are today in terms of premiering this fantastic team. It's a wonderful team. It's a team that has gelled together, of course led ably by our manager, Mr. Ravi Ramgulam.
Yeah.
All right, and of course our coach, Mr. Boyce. Our boys, one thing we have to say in terms of the principles that these boys carry with them is that of discipline, is that of humility, and that is with regards to respect. And they have carried our flag, our St. Benedict's flag, way into our supporters and way in terms of across the ocean, internationally as well. So we have that to harness as our legacy in terms of past, and we are continuing with that torch into our future.
Well, speaking of the past, I know the old boys have been really instrumental in this team. I've been hearing some murmurs from them on the way they contribute to the team, but can you tell us about it?
All right, so we have different factions in the sense that we have the old boys from inception, then we have the middle in terms of the 80s, of course we have then the 90s, and of course in terms of the 2000s. So once we have established that part in terms of, so we have all our factions coming together in promoting. So they promote in terms of economically, they also promote in terms of socially, and in terms of psychologically, where they have come to talk to our boys and so forth. So we had the likes of Silvio Span, and he sent a message in terms of encouraging and of course advocating for these boys to continue to represent St. Benedict's College. And St. Benedict's College is not only represented by the school, but our community. Our community has always partnered with us in terms of ensuring that we continue to represent the community. So it's all the stakeholders, all right? So it's a marriage of the stakeholders, it's a marriage of the community, it's a marriage of the staff and student and the hard-working principals who have been there before, and who continue the legacy.
Speaking of hard-working principals, you as a principal, not only are you hard-working, but here you are also supporting the team in the finals, full 100. Here are you just having a good time and really celebrating their win, and we really see that you are contributed, you're there with the team, and we really applaud you and your efforts. So thank you very much for speaking to us, Miss Jalil. Right now, let's talk a little bit about sustainable happiness, courtesy Coca-Cola.
So here's how we use recycled plastic bottles to make our special edition Coca-Cola Intercol football jerseys. First of all, the plastic bottles are collected and packed at the recycling center before being shipped to the processing factory. Next, the plastic bottles are melted into white round balls. These plastic balls are then crushed and spun through a nozzle that creates yarn. The yarns are used to weave a polyester fabric. Finally, that fabric is used to make our special edition Coca-Cola Intercol jerseys that you and your school could win. So get collecting those plastic bottles and bring them to the Every Bottle Back Center at Charlotte Street in Port of Spain so you and your school can help create #Sustainable Happiness.
All the sunshine has turned to dark clouds here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, and well, the hopes of Signal Hill have turned equally as glum at the moment. At the end of 45 at least, St. Benedict's College leading by 2-0, and with 45 minutes remaining, well, the boys from Tobago will have quite a job at hand as they look to overturn the score and perhaps find a place in the Coca-Cola Intercol Finals. James Saunders here, together with Colin Murray, as we prepare for another exciting second half of action. And what should we expect from these teams?
Well, I think you're going to expect the same from St. Benedict's. I think they're going to up the tempo. I think they're going to try and play at a far. They've seen what Signal Hill can offer in the first 45 minutes. So I think they're going to use Niles a little more. They're going to use Bobcom more, going down the sides of the field, trying to put St. Benedict's, trying to put Signal Hill under pressure. Thing is, Signal Hill, they're playing with like 5 at the back. So you're looking at that, and they're going to be, they were a little bit difficult to break down in the first half, I thought, and both the goals came from wide. Niles on one side came in, cut it in, and then played it inside. He cut inside and played it in to Ochoa, and the goal was scored. Then Bobcom getting that ball wide on the right, running onto it and putting it in the back of the net. Signal Hill, they've got to come out a little more now because they've got to get some goals. I liked what I saw of them in the first half. They were coming down the sides of the field with Devines and Trim, and then with Defoe and King. And I think they've got to continue to do that and try and put St. Benedict's under some pressure and get an early goal.
Well, 45 minutes to destiny begins now for Signal Hill Secondary. They trail by 2-0 in this Coca-Cola Intercol semi-final. St. Benedict's College will feel that they have a bit of a cushion as they try to push forward here, and they could find some space here. Niles is in, Bobcom is with him, a good touch needed. Wow, didn't get a firm touch, but it came off the upright in the end, and the goalkeeper Warner happy to grab hold, and well, just like it ended in the first half, it started for St. Benedict's College with a bit less luck.
Again, what the thing is, you got to keep Niles at bay. He was free as a bird going down that side, and here's Bobcom now.
Well, he's got space, and this time Warner is happy to gobble up.
But the most difficult thing, look at Niles, look at him go. He was all alone, sends it across, and how did Bobcom miss? The hardest thing there to do, James, was to probably hit the post, and it came back gleefully into there. Warner couldn't believe his luck, and that came back to him, and they'll live to fight on.
Well, you can't win the lottery with that type of bad luck, and certainly some bad luck for Nicholas Bobcom. He's been quite clinical this season whenever he's gotten opportunities. Not this time. But the folks in Signal Hill, well, they'll be rejoicing. Their prayers have been answered. And goalkeeper Warner in the end doing enough to hold on. It's Brown, by the way, who's back on his feet after a heavy challenge. And will just, as a precaution, make his way off the field. He's expected to return almost instantaneously as a slight shower has started to descend here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Game did start off in bright sunny conditions. Well, that has since shifted. And St. Benedict's College now will try to use Bobcom in some space here. And well, he's found the Grant. Good link-up play for St. Benedict's College, and a shot that Warner is quite up to the task to hold on to. He's conceded 2 so far, but apart from that, he's held his ground quite well. Goalkeeper Warner. And Signal Hill will hope to get something more positive going forward, maybe here. And that one is allowed to run out into touch as Devines, and his sprint couldn't get anywhere near it. It's the first time that the Tobago team have made their way to Trinidad this season in the Coca-Cola Intercol. How much of a difference do you think that makes Colin Murray, having to travel that type of distance to play?
That's another big problem, because that's when you travel, you get up early, you've got to get the flight, and then you've got to come. So it's always a difficult thing for the team traveling. Even when the Trinidad team goes across to Tobago to play, it's always tough. The traveling, then you have a wait before the game comes on, so you may be sitting around for 4 or 5 hours just waiting to get to the stadium to play.
Well, there's a foot race that Bobcom is winning against Devines. Isolating his man 1v1. Finds Ochoa. Oh, bit of cleverness from Ochoa and Bobcom. And And this time he's taken to ground by the Veens, and it will be St. Benedict's free kick. And this time just using his body against Bobcom, not allowing the scorer of the second St. Benedict goal to get anywhere close to the target. Bobcom, of course, will be off to the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force after the season is completed. Already signed up to enlisted in the military.
It's
so
interesting.
It's his last hurrah for him.
Well, he's going to end the season really, you couldn't ask for more. League champions, most likely Intercol finalists. So it's it's been a good season for Nicholas Bobcom.
St. Benedict's College will go on one of their adventures. It's the substitute, Lucas, who will look to arrow this one in, and couldn't beat the near post and the Signal Hill defense. Niles, his pass is cut out, trying to navigate the crowded penalty area. Certainly made it quite difficult getting space in that penalty area, Signal Hill.
Oh yeah, for sure. And St. Benedict's have, as I suggested to you, James, St. Benedict's would have come out in this second half roaring, and they've done because they want to kill off this game. And if they can kill off this game, and maybe he can take off one or two of the other players, give them a little rest. And I think that's what Randall Boyce would be looking to do.
Very, very defensive shape employed by Signal Hill. One would imagine that being a 2-goal deficit, that would see some more ambition in attack. So far, well, Coach Marcel opting to keep things tight.
Yeah, I think he's just waiting, maybe for the hour mark to come up with 30 minutes to go to maybe make one or two changes, and not necessarily in terms of substitutions, but maybe on the field of play. Push up one, somebody coming up from the back, give them a little more room in which to maneuver and to go forward. So I expect that to happen, but we'll wait and see. They can't concede another goal because, as I say, if you concede another goal, well, it's just no way back for Signal Hill at that point in time.
Maureen's pass is cut out, and still might win it. A heavy challenge coming in there, and it might be
a corner.
A corner, for St. Benedict's College. Grant on the receiving end of that. Well, they've certainly made it difficult physically for the St. Benedict's players to get around them, Signal Hill.
I must admit, this is the first time I'm seeing Signal Hill, and I like the look of them. I think they're trying to move the ball around. Defensively, they look good. They're just coming up against a really very good team.
Well, they did win 6-5 on penalties in the Tobago final after a 1-0 finish, Signal Hill. And, they'll have to defend here as St. Benedict's, they're showing the kitchen door at the defense, but they're doing well so far, Signal Hill. Still back with the Lions, and it's falling nice to Bobcom. Brong tries his hand, and Ochoa! Well, that was close, wasn't it? Well, the oohs and ahs just telling the story of just how close that man came to getting it 3-0.
That was a screamer, wasn't it? He hit it well. He got the ball really. It came off of just rebounded from the Signal Hill player in, that was Christmas. It just rebounded, and Ochoa could have felt Christmas.
Well, here they go, Signal Hill carving through the Benedict's defense, but in the end, some desperate defending, doing the job, and it certainly did test them, and he did test the abilities of Dimas, and it's fair to say he passed that test. It's a clever bit of footwork, but he ran out of ideas eventually, but he has one to throw for his team and an opportunity to pelt some bodies forward. Just sense that they'll be looking for opportunities like this, and hoping for better touches than that.
The control, they really let him down because it was a simple ball to control, and it was unfortunate.
And there's a bit of a strong wind about the ground. Dark crowds all around, coming particularly from the northern range over the ground, coming from the left of your picture. Some dark clouds coming over that area. Not a heavy rain, a drizzle, but the wind is quite strong. Well, they're playing with danger here. And, well, they were almost burnt. And they're fortunate that Buckmeyer got a hand to Benedict College.
Well, the St. Benedict's drummers are here, are they? And I think they've woken up the place now, I tell you.
Well, they feel like they need to up the tempo. And, well, they're giving them the fuel. Maureen needed a better touch, and Signal Hill will capitalize on the throw. Oh, listen to the atmosphere. It's gone up a notch almost, Colin Murray.
Yeah, it's woke me up.
Well, ran out of space there. Didn't look quite smooth, the beans, trying to get around his man.
That is the St. Benedict's drummers in action, James. I'm not sure if they are the St. Benedict's drummers or maybe the drummers for the next game, but we'll have to wait and see.
Buckmeyer hasn't been the most convincing with his footwork, and well, not this time either. Signal Hill, can they capitalize? Well, he's done well to keep it, hasn't he? And he has won a throw. Has shown strength in times like that, Taylor. Just feel he needs a bit more support. Can they keep it alive? Again, St. Benedict's College, firm and solid in defending. Alexander getting in the way of that one. Well, maybe here, Signal Hill can ask some questions. And Niles helps out in defending. And they're off again, St. Benedict's College. Brown, pelting bodies forward, trying to catch Signal Hill out. In a good area, if you can swing it over, it's a corner. But you just feel that's where they're going to be dangerous in Benedict's College after you commit numbers forward.
That's right, certainly will. And you know, it's going to be, let's see, is it going to be Niles with the corner? And they're going to obviously try to play it short because you've got Niles and Ochoa, is it?
On the space, time, can he get the connection? Well, too long for anybody. Just felt he could have done better with the amount of time he was given. Well, pocket picked. And what can Bobcan do here? Thinks he's been fouled. The referee doesn't agree. Oh, can you feel the rhythm? The engine.
It's really, it's gone up a notch here as St. Benedict, really and truly.
Risk it forward nicely for Grant. He's done well. He's gotten past 1, 2, and all. He sent that one into orbit, hasn't he?
Yeah, he should have done better. Niles, he had time, he had space, he had the opportunity to pick his spot, and really and truly, it came to him, and it was played to him. Let's have a look there by Grant, and Niles just sort of leaning back, and he hit it over the bar.
Oh, that one went to join the satellites in out of space. Sure, that's not what he intended, though. Should have hit the target.
Yeah, he should have. He should have at least made the keeper safe, shouldn't he?
St. Benedict's College finding more room now. And, well, he went through the legs of Richardson, but he couldn't go any further. Oh, he's already gotten a goal, Bobcom. He's conceded 2. Jack. Well, he was rushed and he lost out. This time, Bobcom is fouled. CJ O'Brien says will be a free kick.
It's a slight drizzle at the moment, James, you know. And you're looking at me, yeah, there is the tackle on Bobcom. And referee C.J. O'Brien says it's a foul, and no doubt it is. Yeah, a slight drizzle at the moment.
Well, they're in search of goals. And maybe here, Ochoa with the left. Well defended. The sea of black doing its job. Well, they're defending in waves, aren't they? Signal Hill. Yes, in Benedict's College. Bit of an overload on the left side. And this one in to Bobcom. And, well, straight at the goalkeeper. Well, the good news for Argentina supporters is that they've taken a 2-goal advantage against Australia.
Only a matter of time, James. It was only a matter of time, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, of course, if you're an Argentina supporter, we Brazilians, well, we don't pay that much attention. And of course, if you're a Messi fan, well, all the attention is being paid. It's
is that a brace now?
It's a dilemma. Well, it's a dilemma defending St. Benedict's College, and Niles has found the pocket. Oh, he's done well. The flag stays down, and well, the goalkeeper had his eyes on it all the way as it flew wide of the cuckoo's nest. Well, we had a former Man City player in Nicolas Otamendi providing the assist for Lionel Messi, and we've got a current Man City player, Alvarez, scoring the second for Argentina.
Well, a yellow card there given to, let's see, to Jack, it looks like. Yellow card to Jack.
But he's been naughty, hasn't he, Jack?
Yep.
And the Bobcom, well...
Boy, he just took him down, didn't he?
Yeah.
My word.
You make a good rugby player with a challenge like that, though. I'm not sure Bobcom will do the same. He's been battered from watching this fixture. And oh, he's pleading his innocence, isn't he? But don't they all plead their innocence?
That's right. That's a defender's trait. They're looking just to the left of us, James. It's really looking bad, and let's hope that the rain on the hills there just blow away and don't come this way, because if it does, my word, we're going to be ducking for cover, wouldn't we? Even though we're in the covered area, it's really breezy and blowing, and I would expect all that rain to be blowing in here. I'm going to go under the table if you don't mind.
Oh, he's done a bit longer. They've already lost their talismanic captain, Tariq Lee.
They're having a great time.
Yep. That's the acting principal of St. Benedict's College, by the way. And I tell you what, she's as involved as anybody, particularly in the rhythm department. I just sense that it might be the end of Bobcom's evening. Does seem in considerable pain, holding on to his right thigh. That's what he called the old dead leg. Any footballer will tell you it's one of the most painful things. We hope it's nothing worse, but might have been the impact of that challenge. But it can be considerably painful. No real motion on the sidelines though, just yet for St. Benedict's College, who will soldier on. Niles though will take the opportunity to swing one in. Maybe some revenge for his teammate. Well, that's good goalkeeping, isn't it, from Warner?
Excellent. He came, I was a little worried because he had to get through traffic, James.
Well, you have to be careful here. Well, flew flew over the area that the spiders and the cobwebs live, but couldn't nestle in the corner.
Well, here it is, the ball coming across, and they couldn't clear it, and eventually the shot came from Alexander. Again, he was falling backwards and couldn't really get to get over that ball. He was just falling backwards, and it went high over the bar.
Oh, you don't need Barrington Levy to tell you that they're living dangerously at the back, Signal Hill. Now or never that you feel that if they have to get something from this match, they need to put X to the pedal. Gone past the hour mark. And here comes the Benedict College. Clear and present danger. Brown. Maureen. Oh, he's finding pockets of space between the lines now, as the legs of the Tobago boys begin to tire. Well, they haven't replaced Bobcom yet, who's gone off injured, so they're playing with 10. Well, there's a player being summoned eventually, so it looks like Bobcom will be changed. The play carries on. Here's a substitute. In a dangerous area, Niles is there, but so too Warner. And that's, well, the nice sticky fingers holding on well. Looks solid from cross balls, Warner. How about on the other end?
It's a free kick. Yes, he's given a free kick there for Signal Hill.
Rhythm sections are significantly different to the rhythm sections that we would have grown up listening to, Colin Murray.
That's right, but it's totally different now, the way they come out. But in the meantime, a player is down. I'm not sure who that is, James.
Well, back in the day, the rhythm sections let the crowds into chants. These days, well, they just
pure rhythm, isn't it?
Yeah,
no chanting, no nothing like that. The man down there is, let's see, that's Dublin, isn't it? Dublin bring up.
Oh, the change has finally been made. Bobcom has been replaced, and his replacement has come on. Malachi Webb is the man who goes on that right-hand position. Now, industrious, finding space here. Got Webb on the opposite end if he can find him. Ran into traffic. And well, just needed a better pass from Signal Hill to connect the dots. Well, for the most part, they've defended well. Signal Hill just haven't connected the dots going forward. Just lacked that bit of quality in that department.
The thing is, outside of the first half and early on, they haven't really created confirmation of the substitution.
Webb! Oh. Well, could have been a hero with his first touch.
That's right.
Well, the shot came to zero though. But what an opportunity.
What an opportunity. And I was just about to confirm the substitution, Webb and Bobcom, and there was Webb. We should have been saying Webb the goal scorer, but look at the cross coming in, and Webb coming in at that far post. Well, he just didn't control it, didn't he? He was reaching for the ball, and that was the problem. There he is, just reaching for it, and may have seemed to have hit him on his shin more than anything else, misjudging the bounce.
Well, it needed a lover's finish. It got a killer's touch, and well, we know the end result. Well, they come again. Webb, second touch a bit better, finding space. Maureen finding a lot more space now as tired legs start emerging. Well, there is some precipitation. The drizzle has increased significantly.
And the drumming has stopped.
And it has. Well, they're working in tandem, aren't they? And a resolute defending from the Tobago boys. So St. Benedict's College looking comfortable and in charge of this fixture. Niles facing up to the 4. Looking for an angle to get a good service in. Brown gets involved. Alexander wearing the captain's armband. Looking for room. Well, quite patient in the build-up as Maureen tries to thread Grant through. There's some space now, and caught the boot in the way just in the nick of time. And finally, Signal Hill get it clear. Only as far as a green shirt though. Oh, that's a clever pass. Just turning up their style now. St. Benedict's College. Here's Webb. Malachi Webb. Grant, heavy touch. And, good defending.
Yeah, but the heavy touch was what caused that. There was a good cross. Well done from Webb. And he played it in. But the touch was just too heavy. And once that touch was too heavy, he couldn't do it. And here's a substitution for Signal Hill. Dublin has come off. And Melville is the man on. So Melville on and Dublin off. Signal Hill still trying, but being pegged back quite a lot by St. Benedict's, and you have to think that maybe it's just a matter of time before St. Benedict's get a third goal.
Oh, here's Webb. He's weaving one at the moment past the defenders, and he has one in the corner. Oh, what a tricky player he's proving to be, Malachi Webb.
Yeah, we've seen him in the past come on as a substitute, and he's very effective. He tends to play wide, and he can play wide and then pick up the ball, come in field with it. But he's such a good player.
Benedict's lead by 2-0. Set piece. I'm going to give them an opportunity to swing one into the Signal Hill area. It's from the head of a player, but it doesn't get past the defense. And they need to come away with something. Signal Hill, body's forward. He's got a man on the opposite end, but he's run into traffic, and that's the end of that foray. Looked promising for a second though. Ochoa, together with Niles, have been among the most outstanding players of the match so far. Oh, Puckmeyer. Good to know he's still around.
Yeah, he had one save, I think, to make in the game, and really and truly, he's not been threatened by Signal Hill. Even though you look at the approach play, James, it's been good, but just that final ball in, they just can't get it.
Oh, here's Niles. Back to Niles. Can he make something from this? He's stayed on his feet, and that's excellent goalkeeping from Warner. Well, he's been solid for the most part, Warner. And he's kept Signal Hill in the contest. Well, how about that? He did well to stay on his feet. Warner just made himself a big target. Well, St. Benedict's, they will line up to toss one in, but first, Taylor is in some sort of discomfort. Just might have had his toes stepped on. Well, literal sense. Did see one player leave the field after he was stepped on, Tariq Lee earlier. And Macmillan, as we've seen for quite a number of occasions in this match, coming on to offer some assistance.
Still, you have to wonder, James, when you look at that score line, 72 minutes gone and 2-0. You're just wondering, well, how is it possible? I mean, St. Benedict's had a lot more chances to. It could easily have been 5-0. But listen, don't take anything away from Signal Hill. They've defended stoutly at the back. They've been very stubborn, and really and truly, I think it's just that their approach play has been good, but they haven't been able to convert.
Niles keeps it alive. Oh, he's gone well to get past this man. Abracadabra is coming out. Defenders disappearing. That's the third one. And just needed to pick out a better pass, and unfortunately he didn't. Just feel that swag of confidence creeping into the St. Benedict's game at the moment. They're playing freely. playing with confidence as we've seen for much of the season as they won the National League competition. I'm sure you're hearing that. That's the wind that's blowing here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium.
Pretty windy, and still we have not had a real big shower of rain, James. It's just been a little constant drizzle, and you're just waiting for a heavy shower to come at some time or the other.
Well, good ball in, and Webb finds himself at the end of a crunching tackle from Jack. Doesn't take prisoners, does he, Jack? It's not one to mince words and meddle around in the back. Signal Hill just boot this one forward, and as we approach the final 17 minutes of this match, you just wonder when will the Dogs be let loose in the Signal Hill attack. They've defended well.
Thank you.
But they're down by 2 goals. And you just sense that they need to send somebody forward.
Well, they need to do that, but you know, against St. Benedict's, when you do that, you open yourself up at the back. And you can, once you open yourself up at the back, you're going to concede. But the thing is, they've got to try and get a goal back and make the last 17 minutes very interesting.
So it's another opportunity, and it's Maureen who will stand over this as it's 15 and a half minutes remaining, and St. Benedict's College have committed all but one outfield player in the area. And well, the numbers game worked out, but the accuracy part didn't. Just tells you their need here in Benedict's College. We did have the quarter-final match being postponed. It's played on Wednesday due to bad weather here in Trinidad and Tobago, and you just feel for St. Benedict's College that they might have preferred that. They would have had to play 2 games in virtually 2 days after playing the round of 16 match before that one. So 75-15 to go, and the score 2-0 to Benedict's College over Signal Hill in the Coca-Cola National Intercol semi-final. Just one match to come after this. Fatima College coming up against Trinity East. At the moment, St. Benedict's College at 1 foot firmly planted in the final as a dancing show is in effect here, and will be a corner. Just sends that Signal Hill, they're getting a bit tired now. It's defended well, but it's hard work defending for so long, particularly against a team like St. Benedict's College who run at you consistently. Well, they're giving a lot more freedom now. Can't get a good service, and well, Webb just picks out the one man between the 22 feet frame. Green shirts, numbers coming forward yet again. No tactical change yet from Signal Hill. So Webb opens up some space here, and well, players getting their bodies in the way here. So Choi scored 1 already, could contribute to another. Niles hits the target, and that is goal number 3 as the Lions roar here in the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Pulled out the dancing moves, and then showed that he could seal the deal as well. And there was nothing Warner could do, but for her, it's a party.
Well, it was just a matter of time, wasn't it? They were knocking on the door, the ball was played over. Niles was very instrumental. I think he's had a good game. Here he's come inside, had the shot, they have taken a slight deflection, but who cares? It takes that little deflection and goes past the goalkeeper, and Niles makes it 3-0 to St. Benedict's, and St. Benedict's, here they come for the Coca-Cola National Intercol Final. Do you think I'm sticking my neck out there, James? I'm sticking my neck out that St. Benedict's are going to get into the final.
Yeah, it just feels as game set and match at this point. Signal Hill have done all that they could have done, but in the end, the quality of the national champions proving just a bit too much so far. Well, here they come again. It's not over. Still got quite a few minutes to play. And Ochoa. And a big toe just comes in the way of perhaps what could have been a fort for St. Benedict's College. But it's like that recurring nightmare that just plays over and over again. St. Benedict's College. And the second half has certainly reaped less goals for them so far, but certainly more energetic from the Marine Lions.
Yeah, it's more of what we expected. We expected St. Benedict's to come out in the second half. They got a feel of what Signal Hill was offering in the first half, and we knew that they were going to come and attack. And boy, did they have their attack. And I think what the worrying thing, and I'm using that word guardedly, worrying, but maybe of concern for Coach Boyce is that they haven't been able to put away more of their chances.
Wow. They huff and they puff yet again. The Lions. And it's through to Webb. He can't keep it in. Time and space. Ochoa. And wow, needed a more decisive touch.
It looks like Niles, yep. He was under pressure when the ball was played across, and you could see when he was going to just volley it, he was put under pressure. It seemed it could have been Jack was the one putting him under pressure, and he just couldn't get over the ball. And had he done that, it would have been the fourth goal and would have been his second.
Well, Australia, they scored one against Argentina. Score now 2-0. And maybe Webb can score another. Benedict's. Oh, not this time. That's excellent defending. Trim. They try to get it away. That's good from Trim. And maybe here they can get something.
Oh, that's a real good tackle. Sliding it was Alexander. Boy, he was just coming through no matter what. He was clearing everything in his way. Thankfully, the number 11 player there for, was it Trim
sure
or no King?
Ludicrous song would have been playing in his ear.
Oh, my word.
Get out of the way. As he slid in there. Didn't want to be in line of that big truck coming through.
Well, just 9.5 minutes left, and you have to think that Signal Hill, they've given it their all, but it's just wasn't good enough here today. We see the player limping off there. Is it? That's not King. That is Taylor. Taylor limping off, and I think his afternoon has come to an end.
Well, there might be more changes yet for St. Benedict's College, or Signal Hill rather. As we've entered into the final 10 minutes of the match, one that has been controlled by that man, C.J. O'Brien. He's kept a good handle so far on this contest as Signal Hill look to add some more names to the mix. And coming in will be the number 9, Radine Martin. And he will also be joined by Shaquille Fleming. So those are the two players coming in, Martin and Fleming. Oh, what a story it would be if they can turn around this result.
Well, it's going to be very difficult. I can't see Signal at all getting anything out of this game.
Maureen, Alexander.
And they're so comfortable on the ball, most of the St. Benedict's players. When they've got the ball, they know exactly what they want to do. They knock it around, and then all of a sudden, they burst down the right or left side, either Niles or Bob come. And, you know, they so much put their opposition under pressure.
Oh, that's a good tackle from his substitute who's just come in, Martin.
Because Brown was away if he didn't put in that tackle.
Randolph Boyce, of course, in charge of the St. Benedict's team. Was one of the coaches in the recent Ascension tournament. Did coach the Central Soccer World team.
He actually played when I was coaching Carib FC in the East Zone. He played for Carib. He was a defender. And it's interesting because I never pictured him as a student of the game like he is now, and he's turned out to be a very good coach. Here is the substitution, Trim coming in, or Martin, sorry, coming in for Trim, and Fleming for King.
Well, here, maybe a handball spotted as it goes over the bar, and the flag did go up, so it may not have counted.
That was Ochoa, was it?
Certainly was Ochoa. Did deflect on his arm just before he got that one over the top.
Yes, it was played right through Tim, but he was under pressure. He was put under pressure there, and couldn't really get the shot away. He was put under pressure by the Veens, but still, he was in an offside position. He is the coach of Signal Hill.
One wonders what lessons he would have learned from this match.
Well, as a coach, James, you always learn lessons, no matter what is the outcome. Even if you win 6-0, you learn something on your team.
Here's Webb. And he does get some help, defensive help from a striker. Taylor has come a long way back to help defend, help his centre back out. Well, we're just about that time, Colin Murray, where we show the big highlight of the day. And Fatima College, they're getting set to perhaps put on a highlight themselves as they take on Trinity East next in this fixture. But first, Alexander will try to find one of his players in that crowded Signal Hill area, and he wins another corner.
Corner, yeah.
Well, this game, as we did mention, Colin Murray, it was quite a physical contest, and there's lots of heavy challenges all around.
Brent Sancho would have enjoyed this.
Yeah, Brent Sancho certainly, wherever he is right now, would have enjoyed this. St. Benedict's College, though, they're on the hunt yet again. Not afraid to commit numbers. They've got 7 inside the area. And headed away by Signal Hill. Not the most convincing clearance, but it is being kept alive by the Larmian lads. And oh, that's too long for anybody. And a good time now for SportsMax app moment. And I thought that the highlight has been the physicality of this match. And I'm going to send this one out to my friend Brent Sancho.
Whoa.
He enjoys moments like these.
Some really good.
Yes,
And goal.
Well, what do you know? While the tackles were going on, St. Benedict's College were able to get on the score sheet. They were tackling the scoreline. It's 4-0. And it's that man, Josiah Ochoa, who sends his posse waving their flag.
Let's have a look at it again. James, the run made from Webb, played in towards Ochoa. And then, well, it was a shot from Brown, and he slipped, and the ball went to Ochoa. He was all alone, took it on his right foot, put it on his left, and volleyed it into the back of the net. But you have to say, unfortunate for Signal Hill, because Brown was taking the shot, and he slipped, and the ball went in the direction of Ochoa. But 4-0.
Well, that's the second of the match for Josiah Ochoa, certainly putting himself in contention for man of the match. Well, they want more, they're hungry, and they're trying from distance, and the second attempt is needed to hold on.
So your man of the match is James?
Yeah, I think it's definitely Ochoa.
Ochoa, yeah. I was thinking Niles. You know, I liked Niles going up the left side. I thought he created real problems for Signal Hill. He actually made the first goal for Ochoa when he squared it back, and Ochoa put it in the back, and then he scored the third goal as well. But I mean, I really have no objection to Ochoa. As I said, my preference would have been Niles, but maybe this second goal probably just tilts the balance in favor of Ochoa.
So I think my thinking and yours was similar in the end, and I think very close, and I think that goal from Ochoa might just have tipped the balance. Ochoa with 2 goals, Nicholas Buckham with another. And Niles with the fourth. Those were the 4 goals that were scored so far.
Yeah, well, it started with Ochoa, and then Bobcom got the second, so it was 2-0 at half time. Niles with the third, and now Ochoa with the fourth.
Well, can they get more goals? Can Signal and hold on? They've held on for much of the match, but at the moment, they're being unwound by a Benedict's team who are hungry. Or maybe they can get a consolation themselves here at Signal Hill.
That's good defending by Brown. In the end. Yeah, Brown coming back. He's the defensive midfielder, but he loses out here.
Well, what about now? Well, they have one to throw. And maybe yet there might be something in this match for Signal Hill in terms of a consolation. Anywhere will do. And there was a yellow card that was issued. Didn't quite see when it happened, but Killian Devines is the one who picked it up as we approach the final minute of the match. And well, just like the first half, just a minute to be added. Trevor Nottingham doing the work with his goalkeepers. Trevor Nottingham, of course, from a W Connection goalkeeper, from a national goalkeeping coach as well. Trinity East is part of that coaching staff. Staff that headed by Aidan Martin, who's the technical advisor to the school team. And of course, the likes of Jane Foston, who is certainly the man to watch for them. Final minutes of the 90 in the first semi-final, one that St. Benedict's College lead by 4 goals to nil. And well, Martin has sent that far away from his goal. They'll have a chance to breathe. Or maybe not. St. Benedict's, they want some more. Well, now tricky feet and not the most convincing header away. Signal Hill this time a lot better. Well, we're holding on so far, Signal Hill. But here comes St. Benedict's. And well, this time the goalkeeper Warner quite comfortable in making the save. Yeah, he needs more from his defense. Well, it can't be a long way off from the whistle, but maybe enough time for Signal Hill to get on the score sheet. First, they will have to pick themselves up after the foul. Well, they've certainly got nothing to lose here, Signal Hill. So they're going to commit volleys forward. They want a consolation out of this. Traveled a long way. And they would like to get on the score sheet. So they've got 5 bodies in the area. They're more walking into the position. Everybody's up. The goalkeeper's on the half line. Can this be the moment that Signal Hill get a consolation? Well, it isn't. They've got bodies forward. But C.J. O'Brien's whistle confirms that the 90 minutes have expired, and it has coughed up our first Coca-Cola National Intercol finalist. Disappointment for the boys from Tobago. Jubilation for the National League champions in Benedict's College. Well, they'll have to pick themselves up and try again. Signal Hill. St. Benedict's College, well, the party continues as they celebrate Coach Boyce and company moving to yet another national final. Who will meet them in the next final? We will find out in our second semi-final when Fatima College takes on Trinity East. But for now, turn up the volume, pump up the rhythm, because here at the Hearsley Crawford Stadium, it is St. Benedict's College 4, Signal Hill 0. We all take a pause and we've got highlights. And CJ O'Brien started the match as Signal Hill also started brightly. And they did create the first real chance of the match and not connecting. One number 11 missed, another one connected with Ochoa. And he found the side pocket, and that's where they took the advantage early on to Benedict College going 1-0 up. And expect to see more of that later on. Although Signal Hill did threaten in spurts and moments, Israel Trim just not finding the left or right of the goalkeeper. And then Niles involved in everything. Bob Comdo would show his superiority and his goal scoring touch as he got St. Benedict's College second. And it put the Laramie Lions in good contention up to the half-time. In the second half, they turned up the volume, and Niles, the Bobcom, did everything right besides find the space between the 22 feet goalpost. And then later on, this man tried his luck, but Warner was solid like one. And then Ochoa showing that he had some moves of his own. How close was that? But later on, Brown would set this one on a platter for Niles, and he would send that one to orbit. But they did show that they would continue trying despite the near misses. And even Webb, when he had it on a plate, refused to eat. Warner was a big part of that. And even here, Niles showing his fancy feet and then nailing it into the far corner. Nothing Warner could do there. And was that the floodgates being opened? Well, Webb ensured that there'd be more drama. And when Ochoa, it sat up for him, he just had to let his quality come out, getting his second of the match. And that made it 4-0 in favor of St. Benedict's College. And they say numbers don't lie, Colin Murray.
Yep, they say that. 18 shots from St. Benedict's as opposed to 4 from Signal Hill. 11 shots on target, just 1 for Signal Hill. 7 fouls to Benedict's, 4 to Signal Hill. Yellow cards, 3 to Signal Hill, 2 to St. Benedict's. No red cards and no offsides in this game. 5 corners to 1. And look at that. 7 saves from the Signal Hill keeper as opposed to 1 from St. Benedict's. And the possession, 67% possession for St. Benedict's as opposed to 33% for Signal Hill. Let's go down to Siobhan. She's got the man of the match with her.
Thanks, guys. I am pitch side right now with our man of the match, St. Benedict's Josiah Ochoa. Congratulations to you. Here is your man of the match trophy. And right now we have Mr. Estel Citran, Vice President of the SSFL, with Mr. Ochoa's winning medal. And then Mr. Anthony Lovelace, brand specialist of Coca-Cola, with his hamper. Congratulations. So, Mr. Ochoa, first off, how are you feeling right now? I know the weather came and made a complete 180. How are you feeling?
Well, I feel very proud of my team. I feel very proud of myself. When I win two man of the match for the season, I feel very proud. Yeah.
And who are you dedicating this one to today?
Well, I'll dedicate this one to my mother. She's always supporting me at home. Yeah.
Shout out to Mama Ochoa. Now, our second semi-final sees Fatima College versus Trinity College East. Who would you like to face up against for the finals next week?
Well, I like to face up against Trinity. The reason being because we already played Fatima twice this season and beat them.
Well, we'll find out later this afternoon. So congratulations again, Mr. Ochoa.
Thanks.
So have a good one. Right now, Hans is pitch side with our coaches from our matches today. Let's see what their thoughts are.
Thank you very much, Siobhan. Yes, what a match-up it was today. Signal Hill Secondary School, Coach Marcel. I mean, how you feel about the boys' performance for this entire season? Let us know.
I really thought that based on the start that we had, I thought we came along really good to end in the semi-finals of the Intercol. I think it's an achievement.
Yeah.
We did acquire silverware. We won the Tobago zone.
Yeah.
So that's something to work on. And of course, we'll continue to work. I mean, I'm happy.
How do we move into next year?
Well, earlier preparation. We just came out of a pandemic and it was difficult for some of the players. And of course, we lost a lot lot of players. So our team is built up with a lot of U16 and U14 players. We like about 3 or 4 U14 players on the team. So I know next year for sure with the experience gain, in this game we will be stronger next year.
Thank you very much, Coach. All the best to you and the Signal Hill Secondary School. Showed up today, but just wasn't enough. Joined by right now by Coach Boyce. Listen, another win. Last matchup you were talking about managing your players. Today we see Bob come and Lee being injured. We don't know how severe the injuries are as onlookers, but tell us, how do you prepare moving forward?
Well, we'll have a look at them. It didn't look like anything too serious. As you see as well, we rest Garcia today and didn't play me about slight knock as well. And the unit that we put out today still was able to do the job and control the game and play comfortably. So that alone could tell you the depth of the squad.
Now, how do we move forward looking towards the finals for St. Benedict's? You secured your spot. What's the next move?
Which is a good thing. We'll go on the training field, possibly Monday, do a little preparation, Monday, Tuesday, get them all a ice bath, do some stretches, and Wednesday we'll be here.
Well, the quick question. Who you rather face, Fatima or Trinity College East? We need to know.
I can't answer that.
All right.
The two opponents, good quality teams, wait on the winner.
Thank you very much, Coach. All the best as you all get ready for the final. St. Benedict's College have booked their place in the Coca-Cola National Intercol final. Final score, St. Benedict's College 4, Signal Hill 0. We'll be back with Fatima College coming up against Trinity College East.